Hey everyone, today let's find out about some of the scariest museums in the world. Let's start the video, but before that, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. The Meuro Parasitological Museum in central Tokyo, Japan seems weird due to a bunch of parasite specimens. Founded in 1953, the museum was created by Dr. Satoru Kamegai, which consists of over 300 specimens for display. In Japan, the museum is among the top lists of tourists and has counts of over 50,000 visitors every year. The Medieval Torture Museum is something like the London Dungeon Museum. Very sadistic situation that was held on numerous people during medieval times, and the collections there can make you weep. At a stage, you would think how bad humanity existed during then times. Some of the horrifying tools used were the Spanish spiders, coffin cage, and heretic fork. Spanish spiders were used in tearing apart a female's breast ruthlessly. The other one, heretic fork, was used from the victim to make them to not falling asleep. London Dungeon is one such museum which seems to have a collection of models that were followed for ruthless tortures on people. Certainly, the place has turned out to be a great tourist attraction now. You would probably end up with a heavy heart by the finish line of the museum. So hold on with your breath. Musée du Poitron Museum is a horrifying museum that is comprised of anatomical specimens emphasizing the differently abled formation due to diseases. Located in France, the museum consists of over 6,000 pieces of specimens. Started by a French chemist Matthew Orfila in 1835 with huge efforts, which then had huge demerits in maintaining the specimens. A lot of them were either lost or destroyed. Lately, in the 17th and 18th century, the museum was renovated to retain the impression. To be honest, it can be interesting for people loving medical science, but the specimens there can obviously conjure the fear in you. Lombroso Museum of Criminal Anthropology is a museum located in Italy, which was created by a criminal named Cesare Lombroso. The most shocking items collected by him happens to be a bunch of skulls. Obvious to the fact that he was able to collect over 400 human skulls that included skulls of civilians, soldiers, and criminals. Probably this place would not suit people who are against the crime. To be bizarre to the fact that even Lombroso's own head is preserved in a bottle. Meuro Museum is one of the most terrifying museums to visit, which is in Pennsylvania. The museum comprises a collection of models made of wax, anatomical specimens, and a collection of rare medical conditions. The initial idea behind the museum was to create biomedical research for medical studies and educational purposes in 1858. There are over 20,000 specimens for display, and some of them include scary tools used while education. Further, there are even preserves of wet specimens of cysts and tumors populated by different patients between the 19th and the 21st centuries. The Vent Haven Museum houses the ventriloquial figures located in Cincinnati. The make of the doll's face is simply horrifying with vacant eyes. Vent Haven is the only museum to house such ventriloquial figures in the world. One such model was used in the horror movie Dead Silence, which can freak out anyone visiting the place. Located in the United States, the museum consists of artifacts preserved and models which were used in the treatment. Established in 1967, the museum was considered the most unusual museum in the United States. Out of all the items kept there, the Lunatic Box seems very bizarre. The patients were put in the coffin-like box with a vent until they calmed as a primary procedure for uncontrolled scenarios. Also recognized as the catacombs of Palermo, the museum is filled with dead bodies and corpses. Located in the southern part of Italy, prior to forming the museum, the place was a cemetery in the 16th century. Some of the bodies at this place were preserved by mummifying, which is still being preserved in a very well-maintained environment. A bunch of the mummified ones in the museum can resemble as though they are still sleeping like a living human. The bodies are funded by the deceased and relatives to the catacomb for regular maintenance. The ones not funded are put aside until the funding processes on the respective ones begin. Purgatory, by the meaning, symbolizes the soul purification after the physical death of a person to ultimately enter the gates of heaven. Could be a probability that some of the sins created are purified to represent before God in heaven. Seeming as the word purification just seems simple until you encounter the Purgatory Museum. The items displayed in this museum comprise markings and scars on books, clothes, and papers. At first glance, the view just looks like a piece of cake, but going through history can raise your adrenaline. The most shocking one displayed in the museum is a whole handprint of a human soul being burnt. To get rid of the sins, this was one of the punishments that the individual had to go through as a scenario of holy purification. Well, that's it for today. I hope you're liking Nerdies discoveries. Can't wait for the next video to learn more and be fascinated about. See you on the next. Bye.